What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, some news has come out over on Twitter. And this news confirms even further that Treyarch's game might potentially be our savior. Again, we have had a lot of confusion these past years when it comes to a lot of these development teams putting out projects that are absolute clickbait, absolute just baiting us in, the community, into thinking this game is going to be something that we want. And then we just simply get absolutely screwed over, at least for the 6v6 side of things. But for once, it seems like we have a little light at the end of the tunnel. And it's all because of Treyarch. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you are interested in hearing content just like this video around Call of Duty or even X-Defined, we actually have an insane commentary as well tomorrow for X-Defined with some more news and information that just dropped. Of course, if you guys want to be a part of all this stuff, subscribe, hit that bell. We post videos every day here at around 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And last but not least, if you guys want to catch my live streams, hang out with the community, get some good vibes, we will be live around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time today over on Kick. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this news came out from Charlie Intel. Actually, the rumor or leak came from Bob, but Charlie Intel covered it on their own page, saying, rumor, Call of Duty 2025 is set to follow a similar format to that of Modern Warfare 3. Call of Duty 2025 will reportedly be a follow-up continuation of Treyarch's Call of Duty 2024, and will reportedly include Black Ops 2 maps remastered. Now, at first, when I saw this information, it stressed me out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be completely honest, because I thought we were going to run into the same exact situation as Sledgehammer Games with Modern Warfare 3. For those who don't know what's going on with Modern Warfare 3, we're getting no new content. There's nothing fresh for you to enjoy when it comes to that game. All we're going to be playing on is Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps. And even though they will feel a bit fresh, because they'll look differently, the color palettes will probably be a lot different, they might add in some new things to the maps, so on and so forth. It's going to feel like a fresh vibe. And also, when you play them for the first time, trust me, nostalgia is going to hit. It's going to feel good. It's going to be enjoyable. But I guarantee, give it about a month, it's going to get extraordinarily boring. Especially for people who played Modern Warfare 2 back in the day. There's no possible way that you're going to be able to play that for longer than a month if you already have the previous play time of putting in multiple hours, countless, endless hours into Modern Warfare 2, the OG. I don't think we're going to be very interested in playing on the same Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps for months on end, waiting for the future seasons to actually drop new maps, which at the rate that they usually do will be like maybe 1 to 2 new maps a season, which means it's going to take like, 3-4 seasons just to get a handful of new maps within the game, which means, yes, we will be eating off of classics for a long time, which will get a tad bit tedious. But with this news right here, we will be getting a brand new game from Treyarch, and then after having all of the new content for the year after, we will be getting all of the Black Ops 2 maps. So, do you guys understand what this means? I don't want to believe it, because we heard a similar story when it came to Modern Warfare 2 2022 that we see right here. It was supposed to be a 2-year cycle, right? So after this game crumbled, I don't like to completely believe stuff like this. But if this is to be true, this is absolutely huge information. Ladies and gentlemen, basically out of this tweet, it is saying that we are going to be having 2 years of Treyarch. And if we don't have 2 years of Treyarch and we do get another premium title, it doesn't freaking matter, because whatever Treyarch title is going to, be made in 2024 is going to have a massive content drop when it comes to 2025. So there's 2 ways of this going about here. Either we get absolutely no new game in 2025, and for the first time ever, we will get a 2-year lifecycle game by Treyarch. Out of all the development teams that we would want it out of, this is the team that you would want a 2-year cycle COD out of. So that's, option number 1, with the second year being exactly what was supposed to be happening with Modern Warfare 2, dropping all of the Black Ops 2 DLC content. Or option number 2 is we get another premium title, but during that premium title, Call of Duty 2024, whatever Treyarch makes, is still going to get a whole buttload of content. Basically, multiple different seasons filled with Black Ops 2 content. Regardless of whatever way you look at this, it is a win. It's an absolute win-win scenario, because we're either going to be getting 2 years of Treyarch, or the second year when we have a different development team on the game, Treyarch's game is still going to be supported and it'll live on. So if you want to still play a fast-paced arcade game and you don't want to go back to Infinity Ward, we already know how tactical they're going to be making their next COD game. I've just accepted it at this point. They're never going to be what the OG Infinity Ward was, where they could, the OG Infinity Ward, they knew how to mix tactical with fast-paced arcadiness. They knew how to do it. The new Infinity Ward, they push way too hard in the rainbow direction instead of finding the balance of arcadiness with a slight bit of tacticalness within their games. They just simply can't do it. So Treyarch's game is going to be pretty much treated like the GOAT itself, Black Ops 3. And even though Black Ops 3 had a fair share of crap, obviously, that game lasted for a lot of people. That game lasted throughout Infinite Warfare for a lot of people. That game actually lasted throughout World War II for a lot of people. And I gotta be honest, I would say, dare I say, even in Black Ops 4, some people might have went back and played a little Black Ops 3. Okay, that game was pretty darn popular during its time. And that's what Treyarch does best. They make games that people can hop back into if they're really craving that core Call of Duty arcade feel. You know, they've always nailed it, and that's why I've been saying for ages now, even though the GOAT himself, Vaughn, has left the team at Treyarch, he did a good job with hiring who he did. I mean, Cold War, for what it is, even though it's not a great Call of Duty game at all, out of the past 4, it's probably the best. Just because of the core fundamentals that they chose to put in the game, and we didn't have to beg for any of it to be put in. You know, even with Sledgehammer for Vanguard, we had to beg for things like Ninja to be added into the game. We had to beg for that during the beta for them to add it in afterwards, right? Cold War, no, we didn't have to beg for anything. They just put it in the game right out the gate because they know what the community wants out of a Call of Duty game. They have passion for a 6v6 project. And of course, Cold War, you couldn't feel any of the passion, but that's what we're hoping will change. We're hoping that in 2024, with all the time that they finally have, all the years to finally put together a project, they could bring something to the table that will feel like a real Call of Duty game. And if the rumors are true, we will be able to live on with this game for at least a couple of years. And even though Activision is just scummy as hell, and they'll probably still push out another premium title, I guarantee they'll try to make something happen in 2025 that they can make $70 off of each individual. I guarantee something will happen. But if we could still get this massive map pack drop from Black Ops 2 into whatever Call of Duty 2024 is going to be for the year of 2025, again, and that's when, think about it, that's when Infinity Ward's going to be there. Think about it. They just made Modern Warfare 2, right? After this is Modern Warfare 3 made by Sledgehammer. After that's next up game by Treyarch. Now, if Activision really wants to do it, they'll probably force Sledgehammer to come in and, make a filler game. But I'm assuming Infinity Ward's going to be right back at it with 2025 for another game. And more than likely, they haven't learned their lessons. I want them to learn their lesson, but they haven't learned their lesson. And if that's the case, we will have tons of BO2 maps to hop back into for the OG 2024 Call of Duty Treyarch experience. And the game is already going to have enough base content that it will feel like it has its own identity. Modern Warfare 3 2023 will not have its own identity, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be all Modern Warfare 2 maps. What identity? What's new about the game? Nothing. It's $70 DLC. But for Treyarch's game, it's going to be a full project, and then they will have some DLC to add in afterwards. But they're going to make sure the game, hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't want to talk too soon here, but it seems like they're going to go ahead and make the experience good first, and then add on afterwards. But overall, guys, this is fantastic news here. Amazing news. I didn't expect to see this anytime soon. Honestly, I didn't expect to see anything good happening soon from Treyarch. If anything, I thought something bad was going to happen to Treyarch, and Activision was going to either push them up a little bit or not allow them to do something or have something going on behind the scenes that's cutting up their time. I don't know what the case is here. But if Raven can stay with Warzone, that would be fantastic because then they can focus on Warzone, Treyarch can just focus on multiplayer, and that's it. And obviously their campaign and zombies, all that good stuff. But if Warzone could be not as important like it was back in Cold War where they had to integrate all those weapons, since the game is going to be pretty much on the same engine and everything is going to transfer very nicely, if they don't have to put as much focus into making sure everything works nicely in Warzone, they can actually focus on bugs, glitches, problems with 6v6, and that's what we're looking for around here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we want out of the game. We want love and passion behind 6v6, not just Warzone. But of course, as always, ladies and gentlemen, go down in the comment section, leave your opinions down below about how you feel about all this information. Do you think it's true that we will potentially not see a new title in 2025 and that whatever Treyarch's game in 2024 will indeed transfer over? Or do you think it's just going to be, a new premium title, but of course, to keep people interested in Call of Duty, especially if they don't want to play an Infinity Ward game, Treyarch's game will live on a little bit longer, they'll support it a little bit longer, and they'll keep adding content into the mix. At the end of the day, I think it's just, it's all pluses in my book. It's all pluses because it's not like we're only getting Black Ops 2 maps, but we're getting extra content on top of the new stuff they're making within Treyarch's new title. You might be able to spot some negatives, and I highly encourage you to do so. I would love to see what you guys can come up with in the comments. I always love reading them. But in a long time, this is probably the best news that we've had. It's been a long time since we had some good Call of Duty news, and we try to spark up something positive, but usually the positive stuff we talk about on this channel is like, we're just scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to get these positive things out there because it's really hard to find something like that. But this is like the first time in a long time we have real, genuine good news, and I'm happy for Treyarch that it seems that things are going their way. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's vid, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Subscribe, hit that bell if you want to be notified on all my recent uploads. Like I said, we post daily over here, every day at 8 in the morning Eastern Time, Call of Duty X Defiant. Whatever you want to hear, you best believe I got it for you. And last but not least, if you want to see some live streams, we'll be live today over on Kick, along with the rest of the week besides Sundays. Link to that channel, along with all my other socials, are down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.